Top 10 unbelievable wrong accusations ever made on celebrities. Society often emphasizes negative aspects of daily life, especially when it puts people on trial, and in some cases, sentences them. As a result, they are left with nothing to work with. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the top 10 unbelievable wrong accusations ever made on celebrities. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Amy Winehouse was found innocent of punching a dancer. Amy Winehouse was one of the most influential singers and songwriters of her era. Even though she was acquitted though, we need to point out that when the entire punching a dancer in the face incident went to trial, she was found innocent. The Telegraph records a burlesque dancer named Shireen Flash approached Winehouse backstage at the Prince's Trust Ball at Berkeley Square in London and wanted to take a picture with her. Her fiancé confirmed that she was nervous and frightened by the dancer and asked if she could sit and speak with her for a few minutes. In some versions of the story, it is reported that the Flash breached against the singer's body instead of draping herself. In answer, the singer swore at Flash and pushed him away in panic, while Flash said he was hit in the eye with a clenched fist. Because almost all the witnesses were drunk at the time of the incident, it was challenging to identify the perpetrator. Eyewitness reports that the sort of injury often happens when there is a forceful blow to the eye, thereby lending credibility to her claims. Attack charges were therefore dropped. Number 9. The football player framed by the cops. Bowen, originally from Jamaica, rose to fame as a football player for the Toronto Argonauts from 1999 to 2002. Nearly 2 years later, he was framed by the two police officers. The undercover officers pulled him over as soon as they noticed him. According to the report, these cops brutally beat him, planted drugs on him, and drove him away in the back of a squad car, leaving him to be picked up by the dealers. Bowen was heavily concussed during the fight and was left in his cell for 12 hours. Going through the night's events, there were no other reasons he could think of other than he is a minority, said Bowen. To bolster his case, his lawyer said there is no need for a statement from a police officer to say he was attacked because he is black. One of the officers who made the arrest had been once a drug user and was found guilty in court. Bowen was forced to retire due to violent assault while playing football, effectively ending his athletic career. He then filed a countersuit against the police department, which settled for $14 million. He has since spoken frankly about his experience and publicly apologized to the officers who assaulted him. Number 8. Cat Stevens was wrongfully deported from the USA. Though Moonshadow and Wild World are both acclaimed as the premier examples of Stephen Georgiou's career, he is better known by his adopted name, Yusuf. Stephen, the well-beloved British artist who was going to Washington, D.C. when the flight was forced to divert to Maine, was confirmed to have been arrested, questioned, and deported on the flight 919 in 2004. Tom Ridge, the Homeland Security Secretary, accused Yusuf of being connected to Middle Eastern terrorist groups. Ridge did not say anything about why the terrorist watch list includes him. This entire story can be traced to his grandfather, who was a pioneer. My identity is apparent to all. There are no secrets between us. Everybody knows that I've been volunteering for a charity as far as I'm concerned. Whatever humiliation arose in 2004 seems to have been resolved in the intervening decade by US officials, who apologized quietly. The artist proudly returned to the US and said, "I've felt very welcome now for the first time in my life." Number 7. The innocent boxer who spent 2 decades in prison. He was a boxing sensation at middleweight, with his quick, furious style overwhelming everyone in the TV audience. In 1966, he was given 3 life sentences for a crime he reportedly committed at Lafayette Bar and Grill. A debate over racial profiling emerged in Carter's trial, and celebrities such as Muhammad Ali to Burt Reynolds went on record to voice their grievances. For Bob Dylan, there was no doubt in his mind that there was nothingness about Carter's remorse. It was not until 1985, when a federal judge found the previous 1966 trial unfair, that the trial judge Carter allowed him to return to the outside world. Justice Carter fought for the wrongfully accused, as he did. He was the executive director of the association for 11 years, and Denzel Washington portrayed him in the motion film, which was released in 1999. Number 6. The Cannibal Holocaust director was put on trial for killing his cast. Cannibal Holocaust is considered one of the history's most notorious films because it depicted actual footage of people consuming human flesh and murder. Some audience members were so outraged by the film's graphic violence that the director was threatened with arrest. Deodato made it a condition for his contract actors to stay out of public eye for a year. The Guardian noted that this had been a problem for some time since Deodato was put on trial. How much work is there to be done? Deductively, both of the actors had conveniently quit their own volition. To avoid a jail sentence, Deodato ended the contracts with these actors and pressured them to appear in court. He never claimed to be aggressive about the killing of animals, even if it was a monkey's head being snipped off in the film. He received a 4-month suspended sentence and a fine in prison following his animal cruelty convictions. Number 5. Todd Bridges went through hard times. Todd Bridges will be remembered for his starring role in Different Strokes and his contributions to the film. Bridges was arrested in 1989 on suspicion of killing an elderly drug trafficker named Kenneth Tex Clay. Bridges seems to have admitted to taking cocaine at the time of the crash, despite his denial of shooting Clay. Bridges was found not guilty on both counts of first-degree murder. Because of that, he was later arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. The potential court case was put on hold. In December of 1990, the case against Bridges was eventually dismissed due to lack of evidence. Number 4. Snoop Dogg was accused of murder. When it was announced in 1993 that Snoop Dogg had been arrested for the murder of several individuals, the Times ran extensive coverage. In the rapper's defense, it was said that he and his bodyguard murdered Philip Waldemar, and whose name is Calvin Brodus Jr., was apprehended and appeared alongside his attorney. After bailing him out, the police arrested him on a $1 million bond and released him. According to the Los Angeles Times, the defense case lasted 3 years, and the jury believed Brodus's account. Snoop's lawyers argued that even though his bodyguard shot at the rapper, he did so in self-defense. He was not found guilty and walked out of the courtroom with his 2-year-old son on his shoulders. Number 3. A jury decided Venus Williams was driving correctly. As mentioned by Sports Illustrated in June of 2017, a terrible accident occurred in Palm Gardens, Florida. Tennis star Venus Williams was driving at a 5 miles per hour speed when she crashed into a Mercedes at the intersection. While Williams herself was unharmed, the passenger Jerome Barson sustained a fractured sternum and torn arteries that caused his death 3 weeks later. First, witnesses said she had hit a red light. Then Williams was held responsible for the accident. Once the trial began, surveillance camera footage was shown as primary evidence. According to what was found, Williams was driving through a green light rather than a red one. In the end, Williams apologized and sent her regards to the Barons for their loss of an elderly family member. Number 2. Did Nicolas Cage steal a dog? Consider this as one of the low or unsubstantiated claims. Among many other falsification allegations, he attempted to prove that the media made up the dog snatching story. Here's a short rundown. It's possible you've never heard of it. This is how it works if you haven't noticed. Actress Kathleen Turner said it stemmed from an affair with Cage, who starred in the 1986 film Peggy Sue Got Married. According to Turner, Cage was arrested twice for driving while intoxicated, and the first time he came across a small dog, a Chihuahua, he liked and stored it in his pocket. So he won the case against Turner because she eventually accepted that the book's claims were false. Number 1. Keanu Reeves got falsely accused of a hit and run. Given his persona's nature, it is difficult to believe that Keanu Reeves could ever be regarded as malicious. Reeves is known as the nicest guy in Hollywood. Reeves was photographed in public twice without his knowledge, and both images were released in the Los Angeles Times in breach of his privacy. Why do you need to know? It's apparently when Keanu went to a medical center where the family member was having an appointment, and there he began following him around. It's an inappropriate moment to be catching a fellow broadcaster off guard. Anyhow, Reeves ignored the photographer, even though he was beckoning him to move on, and inched his way out of the parking lot. Meanwhile, the actor had accused the victim of having a now so broken wrist that he is unable to lift the heavy camera needed for his job. Keanu disputed Silva's hit and run story, stating that Silva tripped over his own feet. He sued for $700,000, but his claims fell apart on inspection. His lawsuit was nothing more than a money-making pass. The argument was thrown out before it had even reached the final 2 hours of deliberation. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you liked this video. If so, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thanks for watching.